What's prompt engineering? Allow me to explain. We learned what generative AI does in our previous lesson. It takes information and generates responses based on what you asked in the prompt. Prompt engineering is about improving how you ask questions or give instructions to AI to get the best possible answers. If you provide a clear and well thought out prompt, the AI will give you better responses. But if your prompt isn't clear or detailed, the response might not meet your expectations. The quality of the AI's answer depends on the quality of your prompt. For example, we all communicate. Whether you are deaf or hearing, communication skills matter. But if someone has bad communication skills and he says things that others don't even understand, he just makes them confused, and then they are unable to respond to his expectations. Same is the case with generative AIs like the ChatGPT. So the prompt is what you write and how clearly you communicate with the AI. Clearer the prompt, the better response you will get from the AI. But it's important that in your prompt, you write the question first and then add information for a better response. Rather than writing the information first and asking the questions later. So let's dive into it. This is the new chat. You click on it to initiate a new chat with the Chat GPT. When you no longer want to use the information you gave in previous chats, you can make a new chat and start from scratch. Let's start with a prompt. I want to know about microwaves, like how they operate and how they heat the food. But there can be two questions. First, how does a microwave work? And second, how does a microwave heat the food? There are two different ways to ask about a microwave, and each will give you a different answer. Why? Because in the first question, the AI might think you want to know about the technical details and how the microwave machine works. But in the second question, when you ask how it heats the food, the AI understands that you're asking specifically about the process of heating. So the way you ask the question guides the AI on what kind of answer to give. Let's see how it responds to each question. There it is, the response to the first question. How does a microwave work? As expected, the response explains technicalities like the magnetron generation, microwave emission, and so on. Now let's type the other prompt. How does a microwave heats the food? The response is different this time. Just what I told you. I previously asked, how does a microwave work? And the AI responded with the technical aspects like the electric and wave generating components. This time prompted the AI with, how does a microwave heat food? And it responded with, the microwave oven creates waves, and food has water, fats, sugar, and other ingredients that interact with the microwaves and make the food hot. It is explained with different points. Both responses are completely different. That's why it's important to give the AI better prompts. But wait, you might think, well, we did get both our responses, and we also learned that we give the prompts and the AI will generate responses for us. It's too long for me to read. I don't have much time. Let's see if we can get a shorter version. Now I wrote, it's too long. Can you make this in less than 150 words? There it is. I didn't like the long version, so I asked for a short version, and it made one. Similarly, you can give any other instruction, and it does for you. Okay, I have another idea. The response is fine, but what if it's a child or a deaf person who doesn't have that much vocabulary and maybe he can't understand this paragraph? What if we prompt to create a response with basic vocabulary? So I asked the prompt to rewrite in simple English, and as you can see, it gave us a simple paragraph that anyone could understand. What I wanted to show you is that it remembers everything you have asked your prompts or any information you have given, and uses that information later when you ask a relevant question. Let's try with another example. In this prompt, I have asked about the concept of gravity, the force that pulls everything towards the Earth. As you can see in my prompt, I have asked the question first, explain the concept of gravity, and after that added more information. for someone who has never heard of it before. And then in simple vocabulary that most deaf people understand. So first we ask the question and then added information. That's how we get better responses. Let's see what we get. There it is. It has made the explanation very simple. Let me interpret it for you. Okay, let's start. Imagine you have a ball in your hand. If you let go of the ball, it falls to the ground. This happens because of something called gravity. Gravity is like an invisible force that pulls objects toward the Earth. It's why things fall down instead of floating away. It also has suggested some key points about gravity. Pulling force. Gravity pulls things towards the ground. Everywhere. Gravity is everywhere on Earth, so it affects everything and everyone. Keeps us grounded. Gravity is why we can walk and stay on the ground without floating away. Works on all objects. It pulls on all things, no matter if they are big like a building or small like a pebble. There's more. Think of gravity like a magnet. It works just as how magnet pulls metal toward itself. But instead of pulling metal, gravity pulls everything toward the center of the Earth. This is a perfect and simple explanation, so that's how it works. Make your prompt simple and you will get your desired response. Okay, but what if I don't like this response and want another response for the same prompt? Let me show you. This button makes another response for the same prompt. I clicked the button and got another response. This response is unique. That's how AI works. It generates unique responses every time. It never generates the same response even if we ask the same prompt. If we click on the button again, we get another response. You can use whichever you like. It always gives different responses no matter how many times you ask. Let's give another prompt and ask about the movie Inception. I gave the prompt, explain the plot of the movie Inception. Avoiding spoilers but giving enough details to capture its essence. You can see the response, you can read the response while pausing the video. It has explained the movie well. Okay, so we discovered it knows about movies and all, but what if I ask for some information about a book? Let's find out. There it is. It has given the summary of the book. Okay, so we discovered that it has information about books, movies, and everything else. But what about computer programming or coding? Yes, it can write programs for you. You might think it's not possible because coding is a complex task. But all I have to do is write a prompt, and it gives us the code. Let me show you how. I have written the prompt to design a C++ program for a basic calculator that can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division operations. And as you can see, I have the prompt written. Let's see what it responds. There it is. That's the code we asked for. This is a C++ program, but ChatGPT knows almost all the programming languages. It's a complete C++ program. Just copy it and paste it on your programming software, and you have yourself a computer program effortlessly. That's how ChatGPT makes your life easy. Okay, here's more about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not only bound to English, it knows almost every language, like Urdu, English, Chinese, Japanese, etc. Let me show you by asking it to translate. I wrote a sentence and asked to translate it into Urdu. Let's see the response. See? It translated into Urdu. You can also read मैं घर जाना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि रात हो रही है. Let's say I want to change it into another language. Let's see. I gave the prompt, translated the same into French. There it is, translated into French. Well, I don't know French. Now let's try translating it into another language. Russian language this time. I asked to translate it into Russian, and it did. So let's try Chinese now. There, as you can see, it knows all the languages as well. You can ask it in any language. That's the Chat GPT for you. Okay, in the next lesson, we will learn how to improve our prompt for essay writing.